Foresight Wrestling Podcast on the one and only 411 Podcast Network.
With the first selection of the 411 Mania Draft, I select Steve Madsen. What's up?
Whoa, what an opener. Hey, how's it going? How was your week?
Number one pick. My week was fine. How was your week?
My week was my week. It was busy, but I like that. So,
are you in the draft kind of mood?
Well, I gotta be, because we just had a draft, so I'm kind of in a draft over, or like draft hangover, maybe?
I was making a joke about the weather, but all right, so we will get to the draft.
Lost.
Hey, that's a good show.
No,
No,
it wasn't.
All right, well, we're going to get to the draft. Of course, we talked about night one already last week. We're going to talk about night two, but first,
Monday Night Raw.
First, we will start with a little news about some Eric Bischoff guy.
Yeah, this guy, that young up-and-comer that they were, putting in a nice top position, and I guess it just didn't work.
This young whippersnapper.
Right?
I think he beat the company many years ago or something.
For, 83 weeks?
Something, maybe on TNT, this AEW show. I don't know. He used to run some other company. But anyways, Bischoff, no longer with the company. No longer in head of Smackdown. Nothing. Just not even a
bye-bye. Not even a wish. We wish you well in your future endeavors. We didn't even get a blip on him.
We didn't even get him on an on-screen character.
We didn't even know exactly what he was doing. Like, all of a sudden, we brought Bischoff in. No, he's just working with Fox. Well, he's gone.
he's doing stuff. Don't worry, he just moved across the country to do stuff.
Drove across the country.
Yeah, that's true. So, initial thoughts. He's gone.
I mean, they really weren't. There really wasn't much of a change in SmackDown. Once they announced, when Paul Heyman took over Raw, there was obvious changes. There was a lot that, all of a sudden Braun and Lashley went through the set. Right. And from there, we just went wild in only Heyman fashion, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So with SmackDown, there really wasn't, there was a lot of hype because, we thought stuff was going to change. And there was like, ooh, could he have done this? Could he have done that? Because Vince does hit a home run every once in a while. So we like to harp on the guy, but he does do well. There's a reason why he's worth $1 billion.
It just seems weird that, it's been only a few months of when this big news was announced. Right. And now, big surprise who's replacing him, Bruce Pritchard, one of the best buddies of Vince.
Right.
People call him a yes man, but you can,
oh, yeah.
Call him whatever. But
Brother Love! That's what I'll call him. He will forever be Brother Love to me.
You stole my joke. But anyways, I don't know. I think we both kind of agreed maybe this was for the Fox move more than anything.
I'm thinking so. With that steep ratings drop that they had from episode 1 to episode 2, we kind of, like we were talking, they start to freak out over there because we paid $1 billion for this product.
Are you saying he was a scapegoat?
Well, who better? He's a public figure. I'm serious. You got a public figure. Everybody knows who Eric Bischoff is. We don't know exactly what he was doing, like I said. And when you need somebody to say, hey, we're making a change to make the stockholders feel better, you fire this very public guy in a very public way. Who knows exactly what he was doing? Maybe he really hadn't even stepped into his role yet, and they were just like, you know what, let's just not.
Yeah, if you listen to the reports or believe any of that stuff, he was in catering all day.
Right.
And didn't really follow the product today. And the real question to me, not that if he was a scapegoat or not, the real question is if he was specifically hired to be a future scapegoat. Like, was this kind of the plan all along?
It kind of feels like that, doesn't it?
Like Heyman, you clearly saw it. Bischoff was,
right.
just hang around. We'll get to your stuff.
What if he was just like the go-between? Like Vince said, hey, we're going to do this. So then he tells Bischoff, who goes and runs to Fox and says, this is what Vince said. They said, well, tell Vince this. Runs back to Vince, hey, Fox said this. And that's pretty much all he did. He was just like picking up the phone and sending messages.
I will say Bischoff and Bruce Pritchard, they've been cordial. They've said nothing but nice things to each other on Twitter. They're not ripping, and Bischoff saying, screw this, what a waste of time, and you cost me this, this, and this.
You mean there's civility in business?
Well, I'm saying there is for now. I'm sure the true story will come out in a few weeks. Bischoff, I'm sure, is signed to something where he can't talk for a while.
What if there is no story?
I don't know if there is. There has to be. You don't bring a guy in for a few months and then say, all right, well, thanks for moving out here, but see ya.
Or maybe you do. Because why wouldn't you? I mean, if that is a tool at your disposal, like, okay. I mean, I wouldn't put it past the company to do something like that.
No, just very odd news, and I don't know if it's necessarily because of the Week 1 ratings drop, because, I mean, you had to know a ratings drop was coming.
Right.
And I don't know, it just seemed like it never really got going every time we knew about Heyman and who he's high on and who he's looking forward to and who he wants to work with. But Bischoff, it was always, everyone's like, I don't know what he does.
Yeah, nobody could give you a straight answer of exactly what is it you say you do here.
Yeah, good movie there. I like.
We noticed you've been missing a lot of work, Eric. I wouldn't say I'm missing it, Vince.
I like the fact that he probably cashed a few checks on the way, so hopefully he got some money now.
Well, more likely than not, guys like that, they work on some type of contract. So in order for anything to change in that contract, somebody is getting paid out so that contract is met. They basically say, we're going to hire you for this long unless we give you this kind of money, and then we have the option to say bye-bye.
Yeah, that is true. Do you have any other thoughts on Bruce taking over? Will any of this matter, or is this just kind of a big thing a few months ago that is back to kind of square one?
If we don't get the Brother Love show back, I don't think it was worth it.
You don't think so?
Well, I mean, the Brother Love show, man, it brought us The Undertaker.
That's true. Maybe he'll bring back The Undertaker.
Ooh.
All right. Anyways.
I love you.
Nobody
has any idea what we're talking about.
Probably not. They're like, what are these old guys talking about? So
right.
We're going to move on to something current, the Monday Night Raw Night 2 of the WWE Draft.
Night 2 of the draft.
So we kicked it off with Becky versus...
You called it.
I called it?
Yep, you called it.
What did I do?
You called it. You called both number 1 picks.
Oh, well.
SmackDown, Rollins won, first pick, Becky.
Well,
Raw, Becky wins, first pick, Rollins.
Yeah, it had to go that way. But anyways, before we get to the draft picks, it was Becky versus Charlotte, not Sasha.
Well, I mean, when you go into Hell in a Cell and you do some wild, wacky, crazy things, people tend to suffer.
And Sasha's had a couple of different minor injuries throughout her career.
I heard in this case there was a tailbone and something else.
I heard somebody say a joke. It was she hurt her tailbone because she's always butt hurt. That's one of my puns. Yeah. That's a bad.
I think it was also a hip too, if I read the story right.
Yeah, I think it was PW Insider, if I get the correct source. They said she is expected to be back by either SmackDown or the Weekend Live events. So
it wasn't anything like a fracture.
I hope. I mean, it could be out of the ring. I mean, who knows what she's gonna do? But either way,
I did see a tweet that she posted that said vacation mode, and I'm like,
again?
Yeah,
again?
Because something about because Becky cut the little promo right before the match, and her response to that was fake. I mean,
Becky and her promos. So not entirely a
Sasha and her tweets.
Yes, her lovely tweets. So anyways, Becky defeated Charlotte, and number
surprise,
1 pick.
Surprise.
Rollins to Raw. We kind of expected that.
Yeah, we did. It had to be that way.
And take a quick shot, but Holly was super excited for that.
Of course she was.
And she literally stopped me and said, that's all I cared about. So
and then she went and did something else.
And that was it for her. Rollins and Becky are together. Yeah. So real back to the... It
was a fantastic match, by the way. Again, I mean, I know we've seen it time and time again, but... You never are uninterested watching a Becky Lynch Charlotte.
Yeah, I will say almost like Charlotte kind of dominated, and then Becky really kind of cradled her up for the win there. And Charlotte, well, we'll get to her in a second, but we'll now be on the same brand, so I kind of worry that they're going to go back to this.
I had the feeling, when we had Bayley and Sasha on or when Bayley's the SmackDown champ, and then they draft Sasha to SmackDown, I'm like, they're splitting up they're not putting the 4 horsewomen on the same show.
Yeah, that's why they did the tag match
star power,
to kind of,
you
ended on those two doing it because they wouldn't be together again. And Charlotte and Becky are good friends. So.
And like you just were saying, they're going to go back to it because it's always a winner. They have such great chemistry. They know each other so well that when you need a match to pull out, Evolution or let's say they do get to go to Crown Jewel, because that was a talk because, Becky Lynch is the man, so maybe they'll let her wrestle over there.
That is true.
Dictatorship jokes.
And right now, if we're doing the Survivor Series matches of the champ versus champs, it would be Bayley versus
Bayley and Becky. And that was an interesting thing because if you recall NXT, Becky versus Bayley, that was one of her stepping stones to getting to the NXT championship.
Yes, but before getting to Charlotte to Raw, Brock Lesnar to SmackDown.
Woo, flippin' who.
All right, I will say this. I know Raw technically won the pick, but I will say I thought it was a great, great thing that Rollins was picked before Brock.
Yeah.
It's a subtle thing, but
it's a great thing.
Rollins beat him at WrestleMania, beat him at SummerSlam, and then with the open draft, Rollins was picked, and then Brock.
Yeah, well, that's because Brock sucks.
So you can make of that what you will, but that's 3 times the company in their own way put Rollins over Brock, regardless of what you want to say. That was a little subtle ways they've done it. But number 3, Charlotte to Raw.
Yep. We kind of knew that was coming, too.
We kind of knew that was coming. I'm fine with it because of not this pick, but the next one, New Day to SmackDown. They're all together again.
Yep, they're all together. Nobody's getting split up.
No, I didn't think so. Nothing just ever is teased about it. They keep saying they never will. I think at some point they will. But, nothing has been teased, and the whole draft is they come together. I
just want to see them, just dissipate.
I didn't say they'd break up. I said they're not good. At some point they will.
Hate them. You absolutely loathe them.
I haven't said anything bad about them.
Today.
So anyways, as I was saying, the next pick, Andrade.
I think they're great.
You love them. Andrade and Zelina.
Yep.
Of course, Charlotte and Andrade.
When Alistair got... Wait, do we know this one yet?
We do, but yes, Alistair also for Zelina. So they're back together.
Because that was Friday that Alistair, I think.
Yep. So, I mean, I'm fine with it. They want to keep people together, so it makes sense on that way.
Hey, keep your company happy, right?
Right, exactly. Happy wife, happy life. So
I am a full subscriber to that idea. Trust me, my life is so much better.
So we had a different experience on Raw with the Viking Raiders becoming the new tag team champions.
Yeah. I mean, that was only a matter of time. We kind of knew that. They've been so dominant for so long that it was just a matter of time before they really got their hands on something like that. Let's see what happens, though. I hope they hang on to it for a little while.
Yeah, and I think with AOP staying on Raw, those two could battle pretty good. But I thought this telegraphed what Rude and Ziggler were going to do, but we will get to them in a second.
Yeah,
because
I kind of saw them coming after that match.
The Kabuki Warriors to Raw. Now, of course, they're the tag champs.
Yep.
But as they stated, that means when they lose the titles, they'll be on Raw.
If
the Iconics come back.
Lord.
Or Natalya and Lacey have the dominant pairing.
No, they're on separate brands. They can't do that.
I know. That made no sense. They're like, who do I pick?
That was one of the silliest ideas.
Ridiculous. And that match took about 4 hours to finish, too. Couldn't believe it. But anyways, one of my first shockers of the night. Shocker. Daniel Bryan on SmackDown.
Yep, over to SmackDown.
Staying put.
That kind of has a good fit for me personally. I love the War Room little montage that they showed of them getting all upset that Daniel Bryan got taken over to SmackDown. But I think he fits well. He fits in well over there.
Did you enjoy that the War Rooms were wearing the exact same clothes as they were?
Right. You like that? And Cletus was still there, your robot buddy?
Cletus was there. All right. So no surprise, but Raw has Rusev.
Yep. Now the whole Bobby Lashley, Lana.
So they're not being split up, so everyone can relax about the company trying to split up their road schedules or whatever.
Right.
It's not going to happen. So no surprise, Bayley's the SmackDown champ, so she's on SmackDown.
Yep. Saw that one coming too.
And we already talked about it, but Aleister Black on Raw, he was one of the names Heyman specifically wanted to work with. So.
Absolutely. That's a good fit for him, too, because he's got that more edgy character. Like I said months ago, I foresee him having a long enigmatic career. He's gonna be one of those like mysteries, hopefully never breaks character, that kind of thing. I think it'd just be a killer thing down the road.
No, I'm a big fan of it, and I hope it happens. And I believe his buddy Ricochet is also on Raw. So there you go.
So if they ever need a snap tag team,
boom. Yep, it would fit perfectly. So moving also to Raw, Cedric Alexander.
Yeah, that was a shocker that, not that he went to Raw, but more that they actually put it on TV.
And he went before a few of these guys. So Alexander's been on Raw, so I actually thought with all of his losses to AJ, maybe he had been, maybe moving to different territory, as they say.
Yeah, kind of explore new ground.
So with AJ staying on Raw with his title, Nakamura, of course, then is staying on SmackDown with his.
Yes, exactly.
And they've already announced him versus Roman Reigns on this week's SmackDown for the title.
Oh, really?
I don't think he'll lose it, but also coming with Nakamura is Sami Zayn.
Zayn. They didn't outright mention that either, though.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that, they're keeping couples together.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, not in that sense, but just like the fact that people that are paired up on television.
Like the New Day.
Like the New Day, exactly.
Keeping couples together. So anyways.
Isn't that sweet?
So also going to Raw, this is more brutalizing 205 Live, but Humberto. And I'm going to butcher the last name.
Carrillo? Yeah, the two L's is a Y.
Carlito. All right. So what do you think of that?
I don't know much of the guy.
No.
I like I said, we've talked many times, 205 Live.
Didn't he have the pay-per-view match recently in a triple threat? It was Gulak, him, and somebody else.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right, but I don't remember it.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember. So anyways, going to SmackDown still, there is Ali.
Yep. That'll be. He kind of fits in there also.
Yeah, and another mild shock: Eric Rowan to Raw.
That was a little bit of a. So apparently, they specifically. This is what they kept reminding us of, that unless they specifically want.
Yeah, Harper's staying on SmackDown.
Yeah, Harper's on SmackDown and Rowan's on Raw.
I don't know about that. I joked on Twitter how long until he's on main event.
Right.
But I don't know. I didn't enjoy his last singles run as Big Red.
It seems like he doesn't do well without Harper. And in the same token, Harper really doesn't, as good as he is, doesn't seem to do as well alone either.
Yeah, Harper, I think he had a great pay-per-view match against Orton. And
he's had a bunch of really great matches. Like, almost every match that I've seen him in has been great. It's just the character has a really hard time connecting, if you will.
Yeah, I just wonder if he's still kind of riding out his contract, or if this run is like, oh, maybe I'll stick around a little bit.
I don't know.
I still feel it's just kind of biding his time until he's gone. So this little return was just kind of a one-off. But going to Raw is another guy Heyman reportedly wants to work with, Buddy Murphy.
Buddy Murphy made his debut even that night.
Yes, Buddy Murphy. I don't know about him. I know he had time to shine on SmackDown a few weeks ago when he accidentally got involved with the Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan thing.
Yeah, didn't they have a really good match?
They had, yes, it was very good. Again, another 205 Live guy that's no longer there.
Right. Well, the writing's been on the wall for 205 Live for some time now. I don't think we're going to be seeing much of that in the future.
I don't know about 205 Live going forward. Kind of a shock that they're together, but after losing the tag titles, it was kind of predictable. Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler to SmackDown.
So
they're staying together?
They're staying. They're a good tag team together, and with time, their chemistry is only going to get better.
I keep trying to think of a tag team name for them, like Glorious Zigzag or something. That's kind of bad. I don't know. We can work on that, I guess. But
he's a show stealer.
Glorious Show,
something like that. But then we almost might have to bring in Big Show for the whole thing.
Don't say his name.
No, don't say it 3 times.
Don't summon. All right. So moving to Raw is former WWE champion Jinder Mahal.
Yeah. Another one I'm surprised got TV time, because where has he?
He's been hurt.
Yeah.
Surgery.
Just like Drew McIntyre and who else got TV time that we haven't seen?
I don't know. A lot of guys.
Samoa Joe. They're all
hanging around.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jinder Mahal, I don't think he'll do much.
They got a standing ovation in catering.
don't know if he's there, if he's rehabbing an injury.
I mean,
but that line was pretty funny. So he did sign, I think, a new 5-year big deal, like Mojo Rawley also
well,
did.
yeah, because where's he gonna go?
Because I guess they're worried AEW would snatch up the big free agent Mojo Rawley.
The big Jinder Mahal. Yeah,
he can call himself.
But Jinder Mahal did get drafted before. Who's next on your list?
Up next is Carmella to SmackDown.
Yeah, and then the next on your list.
R-Truth to Raw.
And then the next one.
Well, I'll get to those. But breaking up Carmella and R-Truth.
I'm just saying, Jinder Mahal went before all of these people, so let that one sink in, if you will.
Yeah, he did. This whole order is kind of messed up when you actually think about it.
Because they leaked it online?
Because none of it makes sense. So Carmella and R-Truth splitting up.
Yep.
Were you kind of done with that?
I mean,
or will you miss it?
It kind of, I mean, we're going to miss it, obviously, but it's always good to go out on a high note because then when you want to bring it back, it's all that more special. You know, when Triple H and Shawn Michaels come out as DX, that's awesome because they kind of went out, you know, that faction went out when they were at their high point. And then, you know, the next night Hunter brought in Pac and everybody else. So, I mean, when you go out on top, it's always nice to bring back and for the nostalgia of it.
Yeah, I think once Carmella turned on him and won it, I mean, that was kind of what it had been building to.
That's kind of the flag that's like, yeah, how long are we doing this?
So once they did that, that was, I don't want to say the climax, but once they did that, that's kind of what it had been building to. And then once they did that, and then R-Truth got it back, so I guess the title's exclusive on Raw 24/7.
For now. I mean, it is 24/7, so if he would happen to go, you know, let's say Carmella's got a match on SmackDown, and he wants to show up to be supportive, well...
Yeah, exactly.
That's in the realm of...
It makes no sense again. Remember when the plane and on the golf course and stuff?
Oh, the plane was beautiful.
I mean, the whole 24/7.
The OBGYN.
With
office.
Mike and Maria.
Yeah.
I mean, what if someone wins on SmackDown? Then they take it to SmackDown.
Then take it. I mean,
and what happened to third hour only on Raw?
Them's the rules.
Them's the rules. I thought it was the third hour of Raw only. But anyways...
well, then they just have to write their stories so that it never leaves Raw.
Never leave. That is true. Well, then they just got to do it. So
get your creative in line.
Oh boy, bring in Bischoff again. So we have
you know, at this point, would we be better off with Vince Russo?
No, not at all. So up next we had this whole Lana and Lashley.
Yeah.
So I guess she's getting a massage and she likes it. What'd she say? Deep and hard.
Sure.
I
kind of tuned out at this point because...
Tuned out? Can't deal with it?
Well, no, I can deal with it. I find it pointless. It doesn't...
Is this just going to be scrapped in a few weeks where they're just like, this ain't working?
Right.
And then Lana and Rusev are back together? I don't think they can do that after all this.
We've made mention, I'm not the biggest fan of relationship storylines, and it kind of... degrades the sanctity of marriage, and as a happily married man, like I don't know. I don't think we should be glorifying adultery, but that's just me.
No, I don't think they're glorifying it. They're the bad guy.
Or infidelity.
I mean, they're the bad guy. They're not saying it's good.
Right.
They're the heels. So swearing and cheating, that's as
usually
bad.
This kind of stuff happens behind closed doors, not, on TV camera. By the way, wouldn't you think that if there's a TV camera, you might choose your words just a little more carefully, or do we just pretend it's not there?
Didn't she just admit on Worldwide TV she robbed his bank account or something?
Yeah, right. That's. I mean, I guess if you're married and you have a joint account, that is technically at least 50% yours.
Oh boy, I'm fine with it if they sprinkle in this kind of storylines, but you just have to do them very well. And if you don't, you get this.
Right, exactly.
It's one of those tread lightly things. If you're going to do the 24/7 wackiness, then it's got to be funny.
Right.
If not, it's just this is a waste of time. So
like back in the day when the hardcore title was 24/7 and they had a match in a ball pit. That was
like a play area.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was awesome. So a quick detour from the draft. What did you think of the Strowman-Tyson Fury? Strowman, who's now on SmackDown, was on Raw.
Yeah.
The whole contract signing where Lawler got the heck out of there once he knew something was going down.
Well, I mean, you obviously, we don't need to see Jerry get hurt.
No. And then Fury, I don't know what they were going for here. I spent the past few days trying to figure it out. So Fury so Braun broke the table.
Right, with his fist.
And then Fury grabbed the pen and he's like, watch this.
And he had a hard time.
And then he didn't even break it, and then it just kind of fell apart, and then he I mean, I don't get it. He was going to break a pen to prove how tough he was? I don't get it. So what?
I'm trying to understand it just like everybody else.
And then he just walked away.
And then he just walked away.
And if you believe reports, which I don't for the record, he's getting $15 million for this match.
I mean...
How does Braun feel about this?
At that point, you could tell me to hang out with a bunny rabbit. For $15 million, I'll make that bunny rabbit my best friend.
Ramblin' Rabbit?
Sure. Wasn't there a TV show that had like a stuffed rabbit that only came to life? I forgot what it was called. But
Google it. I have no idea, but I don't know what this was trying to accomplish or anything. But I don't think he's getting $15 million. Maybe they have a longer deal or something, or the Cain Velasquez.
I mean,
he's
got that Fox money to throw around. Why not?
Well, it's the Saudi money here, if anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems just way too high. But anyways, Samoa Joe to Raw.
I didn't even know who Tyson Fury was.
What?
Prior to this, seriously.
Oh, you knew Cain Velasquez, right?
Yeah, I knew Cain. Yeah.
Okay.
I actually watched live the pay-per-view where Cain beat the crap out of Brock Lesnar. I tell you, I've never been happier.
I think that pay-per-view is called Crown Jewel.
No, I'm talking about the UFC.
I know.
When he really busted him up. It was
future
awesome.
pay-per-view. It was awesome. It was very shocking too. So what do you think of Joe to Raw?
Good fit. I like Joe. I hope he does well. I hope they give him a good spotlight to really showcase what he can do, have some all-out brawls and just good matches.
Yeah, this seems like two things to me. One, this feels like another Heyman move.
Yeah.
And to me, this also feels like Now or Never.
Right.
I don't exactly know his age. I'm guessing late 30s, early 40s by now.
He's had a great career. He did Ring of Honor. He's done Independence. He did a TNA stunt. Had some great... That's actually when I was somewhat... I don't want to say actually paying attention, but I would flip on TNA because there was nothing else. And some of the matches that he had with Kurt Angle were phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, and I believe still their biggest buy rates in history were Joe versus...
yeah, and all those belts. I think there was like 5 belts up for grabs at one given moment.
Yeah, just wearing all of them.
Just all of them.
So this feels to me almost Now or Never. I mean, if he's going to get that run on top, if he's going to do anything, it's always a minor injury. I mean, you can't fault the company if the guy's constantly got something or if he's always hurt.
Right.
So I hope this run goes a little bit better. And, yeah, him attacking, Seth Rollins or anything, hopefully he doesn't break his knee again like he did last time he showed up on Raw and attacked Rollins. But anyways, I hope that goes fine. So the next pick is something that should have happened from the start, and I talked about in April, The Miz to SmackDown.
Miz to SmackDown.
There you go.
That seems to be the better spot for him. I gotta keep reminding myself, like back in every previous draft, it's always been Raw is your top show, SmackDown is the next level down, still main roster, but like kind of like the secondary ship, as opposed to the flagship.
Yeah.
And then NXT is your demotion, developmental or
whatever.
I mean,
demotion.
Well, I'm just saying that's like
I know what you mean.
Like a lesser player.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And so we actually have to get in the mindset that SmackDown and Raw are pretty much equal, if not SmackDown edging out a little bit,
if
because
we're talking
they're
ratings,
on network TV.
Networks is SmackDown. Fox is over USA. We're talking ratings. It's SmackDown over Raw right now.
Right, and you can get Fox, by an antenna. You don't need to pay for it, so it's free TV. So there's more homes that Fox is beamed into than the USA Network. So SmackDown is kind of our A show now. It's kind of weird to have to rearrange your mind.
Yeah.
That when someone gets drafted, it's not like or it's a good fit.
Oh, they're going to SmackDown.
Right, like Ali going to SmackDown. Now, a couple of years ago, that would have been like, yeah, that's a good fit because then he can work his way up to Raw. Well, now Ali to SmackDown is like he's got the opportunity to be in front of 3 million people or 2 million, as we were talking last week.
Oh boy,
I'm still holding to that.
We'll get to that. So, I like the move Miz to SmackDown not only for the Fox promotion. I don't care what it does for his reality show on USA. I don't think it really matters.
Does anyone watch that anymore?
I mean, almost 1 million people do a week.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. It's always like 4th or 5th of the night.
There's so much of that garbage out of there. How do
WWE they get money from like every little thing. Total Divas, I mean, that's not doing so well this season.
Right,
but
right.
Different.
But I mean,
so
is there that many people that just watch all these shows?
It's the reality TV garbage that I have not actually ever watched the Miz's show. So
no,
I don't even know.
But you want to get yourself on Big Brother.
I do apply for Big Brother every year. I do watch Total Divas, but that show gone off the rails a few years ago. I'm just kind of watching it now as background noise. But anyway, Tozawa to Raw.
That was a little bit of a shocker.
205 Live.
Just from the fact that actually got TV time. Some of these guys like Alexander, Tozawa, Jinder Mahal, I would have expected like in that what we used to call the supplemental draft that they did after hours, which is now the free agency. Or
that's
whatever.
where EC3 was included in. Very nice. But anyways, so Tozawa was...
Who?
EC3, he's on Raw now.
Who's that? Wait.
Former four-time champ. So anyways...
Is he a performer?
I think he's on... Yeah, he was... All right, whatever.
Does he actually perform on, or does he just hang out in catering?
He's nephew of Dixie Carter.
Oh, is she giving you an interview?
She ain't giving me anything.
Oh, so you got to call up her nephew.
I guess. So King
he's
Corbin...
not doing anything.
He's on Main Event every week. So King
Who's
Corbin...
that?
Oh boy! So King Corbin to SmackDown. Now here's the thing.
Now again, I want to just reemphasize: Jinder Mahal got drafted before Baron Corbin.
Well, it's not even that he just won the King of the Ring. It's the pick before him was Tozawa was picked before him. What? None of. I mean, they had to have at least thought of this, didn't they?
No, not at all.
I mean, if you want to put Corbin in the top 2 rounds, then do it. I don't care.
But they put some thought into the first night. And then the first night got spoiled on the internet, so now they're just like, just put up the names.
It almost just seemed like vengeful, like, you know what? Fine, you caught us. Now screw you. Here you go.
Here you go.
Like,
exactly.
Like a revenge on us. But Corbin to SmackDown, I mean, I guess. He's been on Raw most of the time anyways.
Yeah.
I don't know how much Fox cares or wants him or whatever, but I almost feel like they got through a couple of these rounds, and then somebody noticed Corbin wasn't picked yet. And they're like, well, we should probably pick him.
We should probably make note of that.
Up next, we had Shelton Benjamin to Raw.
That, again, like, I guess we're just putting everybody on the show.
I guess. I don't know what he's going to do. Again, Heyman and him have a connection. But
okay, so, I mean, he's good for that enhancement talent, like the match he had with...
What's his face?
Who was that?
Was it Ali?
Is that Ali?
I don't even know. So anyways, the thing about the next picks, where it was the quote-unquote final round, of course, we got, random picks throughout the week. But It started out kind of weird. Again, I don't know about this order, but Rey Mysterio to Raw.
Yeah. I guess. I mean, I had thought that he was sought after by SmackDown. They wanted the...
Yeah. I have 2 thoughts on this. Number one, he's always felt like a SmackDown guy like The Miz.
Right.
So I don't necessarily have high hopes for this run. Kind of like when The Miz went to Raw, and right away I said, this is not going to go well for him.
You know what's going to happen in a couple of months? They'll do open enrollment is what they'll call it. And then they can freely move about.
Open season?
Right. They're just not working, so they flip them over.
And yeah, and here's my second thought
flip or flop.
Not only poor Mysterio, but he got Cain Velasquez to come in for SmackDown, and he's getting the title match against Brock, and now Ray is shipped off to Raw.
Yep, see ya.
Thanks, Ray.
Thanks for making that phone call and hooking us up with your buddies and all.
Kid gets destroyed, and now here's Brock and Kane on SmackDown for the title, and then Ray's just kind of all right, move along now.
Yep, move on.
Speaking,
how many years on your contract? Really, that long? Oh, okay. Well,
all right, enjoy Raw.
Have fun.
So
619
on SmackDown, Shorty Gable.
Shorty Gable. I mean,
your man.
He's a good fit for SmackDown. Again, like we're talking, he's on the Fox network. He's not on USA, so some could see that as an upgrade. Let's see what he does. Let's hope that they write him in some good, stuff. Let's see what Bruce Pritchard does here.
Yeah, I think getting him over as a main eventer might be kind of a tall order, but if anybody... What? I'm just talking. So
you're making jokes.
I'm making nothing. Good. I can't believe that's his name. That's ridiculous.
It is a ridiculous name, but you know what? I still think we should do #You Just Got Beat by Shorty G.
Speaking of getting beat, to Raw was Titus O'Neil. I hope he doesn't trip again.
I hope he doesn't trip and fall. And again, was he on the roster even to begin with?
I don't know if he was, but here's what's worse is he was picked ahead of our next pick to SmackDown, Elias.
Yeah.
Elias couldn't be above Titus or Tozawa?
Nope, couldn't do it.
And why is Mysterio in the last round?
Well, I mean...
this War Room, what's Cletus doing over there?
They're basically have this dartboard. And they don't throw darts at it. They throw mashed potatoes at it. So
I like mashed potatoes.
So who was our first pick of the night?
It was Rollins.
So, yeah, second. And who was SmackDown's first pick of the night?
Brock.
Okay, so they put Brock in the center of this bullseye, and everybody else that they're going to pick is outside there. And they lob this thing of mashed potatoes as hard as they can. And whichever pictures get splattered, that's who they tell you about in the draft.
Are you blaming Brock for all this?
No, I'm just want to throw potatoes at his head.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's okay. So our final pick, as they say in the NFL draft, they call him Mr. Irrelevant because it's the last pick.
Yeah.
Liv Morgan to Raw.
Yeah, so Miss Irrelevant.
Miss Irrelevant. What do you think? Will she be Miss Irrelevant?
This one kind of stood out to me just because we have seen her last match was with Charlotte Flair on SmackDown, and she cut that little "I'm going to come back and be real" thing. So I've been kind of curious as to what she's up to. Started following her on Twitter, and they posted a couple of weird videos. One of her seemingly cutting her hair, and they didn't show her face. You just see locks of this pink, blonde, white, whatever hair falling to the floor. And then there was another picture video where it was pouring rain, and somebody is walking out of a doorway to a driveway where sitting in the middle on the ground cross-legged in the middle of the pouring rain is Liv Morgan. And then the video just stops. So I've been kind of curious as to what all this is supposed to mean. I know she's put some little cryptic tweets out there as of late, but I'm curious to see what they got in store for her, what this change is all about.
Yeah, I have no idea what. I hope she's not irrelevant. I hope that she actually does something because, again, if they're going to split up the whole crew and the whole thing, 6 months ago, and then not do anything with any of them. And I like the whole how it was SmackDown Live instead of SmackDown Live. But anyways,
I don't know. I have this weird feeling that because she was announced on TV, they have plans for her. They have big plans for her, and I'm really curious to see.
Well, the counterpoint to that is they also announced Tozawa and a whole list of others on TV. Does that mean they have plans for them too?
Yeah, but the final pick, if you recall not too long ago, Carmella was the final pick, and she turned that into a SmackDown Women's Championship run.
Yep.
Money in the Bank, all of that.
That's something to build on. So, I was last.
Right. So, I mean, when you're in the middle there, yeah, it's really easy to look over you, but when you're the last pick, that stands out. So something about her being announced on TV, especially in the last position, speaks to me as they've got something planned for her, and if she can do it, she's going to turn it into a very successful run because I think she's got a good character. She's a good actress, and I think she can play something out that might be intriguing to the rest of the audience.
Yeah, that does seem like the last pick is something they can build off of. So I hope that becomes something, and she has this new me or whatever.
Go Live. I hope she does it. I'm pulling for her.
I hope it happens too. So
I'm gonna be from a ground up fan. I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm a fan of her, and I hope she does well. And I'm probably gonna eat my words because now I have a tendency to jinx sports teams such as our beloved Packers and Bucks.
All right. So on the whole, what did you think of the draft this year? The whole presentation, the whole how they did it, the 2 nights were only certain people. The whole, how did you feel about it all?
I thought it was weird. To be honest, I thought it was a little haphazard.
What isn't weird, though?
Right. I mean,
everything is weird.
Because obviously they thought out the first picks of each night, and then from there it was just kind of like throw the big stars up first, and then nobody really moved. If we were talking brand split before.
Yeah, a lot of people just stayed where they were.
Everybody just kind of stayed where they were, and
but
now there's
official.
a division, and the wild card rule is dead.
We'll see.
Right.
I posted a poll on Twitter. 71% think Raw won. 29% think SmackDown got the better roster. Do you think they, did it matter?
I mean, obviously Raw is going to technically win because they get 3 picks.
Yeah.
So they're going to have the majority of the talent. So when you're looking at it that way, yeah, Raw's always going to win. I think that only time will tell who the real winners of the draft will be. It's all up to the talent and how they handle their characters and the stories given to them moving forward, or stories that they present. I don't know how free they are with writing over there.
Yeah, it seems every time there's a draft, it's always like there's an obvious winner, and then in a few months, it's like, hey, this person's busting out, and hey, look at what this person's doing, and then it's like the complete opposite. I know every year everyone thinks SmackDown would get robbed, and then SmackDown would end up being the better show. So
right, as far as wrestling wise and stuff.
So before getting to the old Wednesday night crap, because it's currently 2:54, which means in 6 minutes we're going to get some ratings information. But first we're going to actually talk about the AEW and NXT shows, which, we'll get to. But we had a little thing last week where you had mentioned Smackdown ratings in 2 weeks.
Yep. Yeah, we did. Yeah.
All right. So I did a Twitter poll on it.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people kind of agreed with me.
A lot of people did. So I basically wrote, what will be the Smackdown ratings in 2 weeks? So above 3 million got 13%.
How many votes?
Not many.
Okay.
I mean, a good amount. Not as high as I would like.
Last I checked, there was 9. So
9?
I checked it really early.
No, way more than that. Yeah, oh my God. If I had 9, wow. All right. Anyways, no, 13% said above 3 million.
Yep.
30% said 2.5 to 3 million.
Oh.
Below 2 million got 15%. And the winner at 43% was 2 to 2.5 million viewers. I am probably in the 2.5 to 3 range. I think they're going to drop again this week. So that'll put them in probably 2.5, whatever. But again, it's for what next week's rating is.
2.
So you still stand by it's going to be below 2 million?
No, not below.
Oh, come on. You said below.
Hey. No, I said it's going to be around 2 million. It's going to hover.
No, you didn't.
We can rewind it. I said it's going to hover around the 2 million mark.
Boo.
Because they want 3 million, and there's no way that they can do that. No way.
Folks, this is called backtracking.
It is not, dude. Don't even. All right. I know what I said.
I know what you said. So anyways.
I know what you did last summer.
You don't want to know what I did last summer. So do you want to go to NXT or AEW first, or does it matter?
Doesn't matter to me. I watched AEW more than
All right.
NXT.
Well, this week NXT got my big screen.
Ooh.
So I flipped it. So breaking news, NXT got my vote.
NXT got the big screen. All right.
It did. So Ciampa started out against Angel Garza, obviously.
How was that?
It was fine. I think honestly the match was just there for Ciampa to kind of get back in the groove maybe a little bit.
How'd he look? Did he look?
Oh, yeah. He looked great. Everything was fine. So, I think he's, if not healthy, I'm assuming he's healthy, but he's got to probably be right back to where he was before, but maybe still kind of take it easy on him a little bit.
Right.
My other highlight was Io Shirai, who got a little video package for her.
Yeah.
Featuring your favorite.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's on the website or the YouTube page yet, but it was very cool.
She's got an album coming out in January.
Does she?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
I think I might buy it.
If you haven't, you should definitely check it out. I think that was awesome. And then Io won her match. So, again, they're just kind of showcasing her. Power of Poppy. Maybe she'll sing her to the ring I don't know. But anyways, awesome. So basically this is just all about everybody wants to face Shayna Baszler. Not a whole lot to that.
Yeah, I did catch a little of that promo.
So a little disappointing we didn't get a finish in the Keith Lee Dominic
Dijakovic. There you go. Good. Nice.
Dominic Dijakovic match.
Hey.
Unfortunately, we did not, but, because that's going to set up the triple threat next week against Roderick Strong, because it was a number 1 contenders match for the North American title.
Right, yep. I caught bits and pieces of that. I was hovering between that and A-Dub.
A-Dub.
A-Dub?
A-Dub. My only thing was... I don't know. Strong, we've seen it a million times. He'll break up a match, and then he'll be shocked when it's announced you're facing both guys.
Right.
And then he did the whole shocked face and stuff. It's like, well, what did you think was going to happen? This happens every single time.
Do you not watch wrestling? Have you not watched wrestling? You claim to be a fan.
I put a little more stock into NXT than I do anything else.
Right.
So for that to happen and the whole Undisputed Era being shocked that Regal would talk back to him, it's like, guys, they've been doing this, putting you in your place for a year now.
Well, no, every story has turned out that way. That's what I'm saying. It's like, do these people not watch wrestling? You guys claim to be fans.
Come on. So Tegan Nox is back.
Yay.
She won her match, and again, this led into Dakota Kai and another standoff with Shayna Baszler. Yeah. So everyone wants a title match. So they aired a little thing on Finn Balor. I guess he's returning next week.
His future becomes his past, or his past becomes his future, or something like that.
Yeah, his future will be his past. So his future is him being back in NXT. I don't know, but I'm wondering if the Ascension attacks him or Hideo Itami comes out again. Well, he said his future is his past.
And Hideo is gone, dude. He's over in Japan.
All right, I was making a joke about his NXT.
That was bad.
All right.
That was a really bad joke. You need to write these down.
I got to write these down on this piece of paper?
Not that one.
Okay,
We
so
have plenty of paper. Why do you have to use a napkin?
I don't use a napkin.
Today.
I'm going to write on the side of the bottle next
I
time.
wouldn't doubt it. I'm
That'd be
surprised
fun.
you don't just I think only because you respect my coffee table, you don't just start scrawling on that.
Now you're giving me ideas. All right, our main event.
Coffee table.
Don't you dare. Our main event, Pete Dunne
Yeah.
versus the man, Damian Priest.
Yeah. I caught the end of this one because there was an overrun.
There was again. This was probably match of the night, including both shows.
What I saw was great.
I enjoyed this. I'm a little surprised that Pete Dunne lost, but he's been doing a lot of losing for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Damian Priest.
It wasn't a clean loss.
It was
so
not clean.
you can give it to that too.
You can give it to that. If a rematch is happening, that would be fine by me.
Or Pete Dunne doesn't, look any less strong because it wasn't, he was cheated upon.
Yeah, it seems he's going to be moving into a thing with Killian Dane anyways.
Yeah.
Because Killian Dane had just won his match when he came out, and then Pete Dunne came out, so they had the little stare-off at the stage before. So a little tease of things to come. So
I don't like you. Well, I don't like you either. Well,
so I don't like you either.
your feet smell.
So the other news from it was apparently Velveteen Dream is hurt.
Velveteen. Oh.
That's a little disappointing right at the start of their USA Network run.
That is kind of sad. How bad do we know?
We do not know, but his match against Roderick Strong was canceled because of it next week, which is why that match was turned into a number one contenders match. So very disappointing. What did you think on the night of what you saw of NXT?
Like I said, all I caught was really the overrun right after, and that match was killer from what I saw. It was a lot of back and forth, and Damian had to go break the rules in order to pull one out.
To beat Pete Dunne. I enjoyed the show. I thought it was fine. I talked earlier off air a little bit. I don't know what the word was, but maybe the spark, the buzz, something. It's third week in, and already I think it maybe is just kind of like getting to normal almost. It's just kind of like, okay, this is how it's going to be. The week one buzz is done, and then week two, everyone thought, well, I think it's a lot of the rating stuff too, but the shows are now kind of settling in. It's like, okay, so now let's kind of just go how it is. I think if there was going to be a huge surprise or signing or something, it would have already happened.
Yeah.
You're not going to air it the third week. You're going to do it the first week. So
Right. I think we're getting into our groove. We're starting to find, how the wheel works as it always does. I think both shows are kind of starting to get into this is what we're about to expect. AEW to me was a little more unpredictable just because it's a lot of new talent and stories haven't quite been established. So, really we're looking at the tag tournament and, a little bit of like the Moxley Omega stuff like that, that we're continuing. But really a lot of this talent is just, hey, here we have to offer. And this past week seemed to be kind of tag team.
A few weeks
extravaganza.
ago. Yeah, a few weeks ago when they announced the venue and the on-sale dates and all that, I don't know what they called it, but Philly was they were going to have like a tag team showcase or something. They'd said something. So let's move on to Dynamite. It started out with SCU getting attacked.
Yeah, by the Lucha Brothers again.
What do you think of that?
I think they're definitely building to what will be an amazing feud. I am a huge fan of the Lucha Brothers. I think that every time they get in the ring, something crazy is going to happen, and it almost makes me scared because how much more crazier can they get? But they never disappoint, and SCU, with all that talent and all that experience that they got in those three guys, there's going to be some phenomenal matches coming out of that rivalry, guaranteed.
What did you think of that pile driver?
Oh, man.
Was that safe, or did that look bad?
No, you know what? If you play it in slow motion, like breaking kayfabe, if you play it in slow motion, there was a decent amount of space between his head and the ramp. So,
okay, that looked kind of scary to me.
Yeah, Pentagon did it right, but it was close. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, you'd be very lucky. But I mean, he did get enough space for his legs to kind of cushion Christopher Daniels' head. But I mean, I had I have visions of old Jerry Lawler pile drivers. Just
Andy Kaufman.
Right? Just things were not turning out well.
Yeah, I'm glad they did that. It started the show off hot. It was right
Really
away
hot.
like, oh crap, something's going on. Unpredictable, like you said. It feels like something can happen at any moment inside a big arena. So that's a cool venue.
And it was really cool to see Scorpio Sky, take the mantle. He really wanted the veterans to have at this, but it's nice to see kind of all three get their moment to shine. So we got Scorpio Sky and Frankie Kazarian. So maybe next time around, they said towards the end of the show, Christopher Daniels was up moving around. He's fine. So next round of the tag tournament, can be Christopher Daniels.
I like the fact that Scorpio Sky kind of stepped up,
right,
out of the shadow a little bit and kind of went in there. But I will quick say about the pile driver, I hope they don't do that every week. It's still a pile driver. I'm sure it's safe and all that stuff. But you bust it out in moments like this, it stands out. It's special.
Right.
Like, oh,
exactly.
crap, they're doing pile drivers here.
Yeah.
So it stood out more. So anyways, in the end, SCU.
Pile drivers, not even like.
Yeah, package. So SCU defeated, who was it, Best Friends?
Yes, Best Friends.
Is that who it was?
Trent Beretta, or Trent, and I don't think you can call him Beretta. I think WWE owns that. And the other guy, Chuck Taylor.
The other guy. What did you think? It's the right call? SCU advances?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. SCU is going to be one of their staple tag teams going forward. Definitely a stable going forward. You're always going to see those guys together, and whenever there's a tag team, again, when you need a good tag team to put on a match, SCU is going to be a go-to team to go to.
My go-to team is Santana and Ortiz, and they were up next. They still need a name. I know they're the inner circle, but that's the stable. These two need a name.
They were Santana and Ortiz.
Just call them Santino.
Proud and powerful.
I like Proud and Powerful. That can be their name. So they came out next, defeated. I don't even know who these two guys are.
I don't know who they were, but they were savage.
It was kind of a
LAX.
Yeah, kind of a LAX. That's funny. There's a kind of a easy victory here, and then
it was just basically to say this is what the buzz was all about.
Yeah, I think it was pretty much also to set up the post-match with Jericho coming on the screen and basically announcing Young Bucks versus Santana and Ortiz at Full Gear.
Nice.
Which I think will be great. I don't know if necessarily Jericho had to do all the speaking for him.
Well,
maybe if that's an every week kind of thing.
He's the mouthpiece.
He is the mouthpiece.
He's our front and center guy in this particular heel stable.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I don't know if I want every week it's Jericho and then his 4 goons, around the ring. So up next we had a video package about Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I was milling about the house. I've seen we know all about it.
Okay, I will say this. I thought the video was very well done. It hyped up Cody. It said he's in a whole different mindset till November 9th. Full Gear. His mind's on one thing only, blah, blah, blah. Talked about his family and tradition.
They do have amazing production value for some
DDP
of these videos.
showed up, spoke well of him, obviously. Dusty Rhodes, the history with them. So was this, I don't know, did you see it?
I saw it, bits and pieces of it. I wasn't,
okay,
deaf, but I listened to it.
I thought it was really good. It put him over like $1 million.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And if there's a downside to that, I mean, it just seemed like they were talking to him like he's like a god or something. He was the greatest man on the planet.
Well, I mean, he's the executive vice president.
And he is the best ever, and man, they sang his praises.
Well,
if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it, or if you've seen it, go back and watch it again. The way they are glowing about him and
if you
Cody.
think about it, who's really the reason that all of this is happening?
Cody.
So he had the vision.
Well, actually, I'll take that back. Tony Khan.
Yeah, but Tony Khan approached who?
Cody. Young Bucks. All that.
Yeah, see?
That is true. So,
he's kind of got that godlike status.
He does. With AEW, he's the man right now.
Right.
And I'm surprised.
He will be the man forever.
Is he going to be the champ man?
Well, that remains to be seen.
Or is MJF going to find... Oh, boy. So, anyways, up next, we had a title match.
We did.
The women's championship match. This came out of nowhere. You would think these two would have had a long build.
Yeah, you would have seen more of a build, but they did promote it, for a while. I think they're trying, because Britt Baker hasn't really had much time on camera, especially in the ring.
Yeah, I don't know if it had to do, but NXT also had the women's match at the same time. I'm thinking somebody has the run sheets on somebody's show, because some of these are too coincidental,
right,
with the commercial breaks and stuff. But Riho against Britt Baker, what'd you think?
To be honest, I had kind of expected more out of. I don't know if she was having an off night or whatever, but Britt Baker looked a little sloppy as far as her ring technique. It seemed like she was telegraphing a little too much. You could obviously tell when she was setting up, for this, that, or the other thing. I don't know if there was just a miscommunication or whatnot. It just didn't have that flair from some of the matches that I was used to seeing.
Yeah, for seemingly a big face versus face match, which again probably should have been saved for down the line.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just didn't click with me. I know I texted you. Maybe it's just these two have bad chemistry. I know Undertaker and Stone Cold, two all-time greats, but those two, sometimes when they would have one-on-one matches, it just didn't really click ever.
Right, exactly.
So, sometimes that just is how it happens.
Just been a bad night.
Just could be that. Riho retains.
She does. I think that's probably best. It'd be kind of weird to lose the title that quickly, and kind of makes you wonder, well, how good is this title?
Yeah, and that's why I don't know why they rush right to Britt Baker versus Riho. I don't know. I mean, obviously Riho's going to retain her. You do the title change, but then you'd have to beat Britt Baker already.
Right.
She did a post-match interview. I think it was for YouTube or wherever it was. She kind of said she was the better woman. She lost, shook her hand, whatever, and then kind of said, I got to get back to work, and I'm going to do next Wednesday. And it was kind of like an open challenge almost. She had said, whoever steps up and faces it, I'm going to be ready and be my best and all this, lovey-dovey crap. But it was very interesting.
But she just got beat by the women's champion, so who really wants to face?
Yeah, so I don't know. It seems like now she's going to, start at the bottom or work her way back up?
Start at the bottom, now we're here.
So again, I'm not sure why we needed this match necessarily already.
There was much better ways we could have been introduced to Britt Baker, I think.
Right. So up next, another tournament match. So the Luchas, your favorite.
Yeah, the Lucha Brothers.
They were originally set.
They did face them. They did face Jurassic Express. Just.
What do you think of Luchasaurus? Is this a bad injury? Do you hope he's back soon?
I hope he's back soon. I'm a big fan of Luchasaurus. I would have loved to see Pentagon Jr. and Luchasaurus square off. I mean, oh my God.
So instead of Luchasaurus, Marco Stunt.
Marco Stunt. This little dude made a believer out of me, man. That guy, he don't care. He was throwing himself around, doing kicks and jumping off of stuff, and dude just didn't care. He was gonna do whatever he could to try and get a win out of this and make Luchasaurus proud. Unfortunately,
he didn't.
Unfortunately, you had the Lucha Brothers to take care of, and
well, they had to win.
Those guys, they're not going down.
They didn't sign here to lose to Marco Stunt and Jungle
I am
Boy.
like we said earlier, I am a huge fan of the Lucha Brothers. There is something magic every time they get in the ring. And
are you picking them over Private Party already in the tournament?
Oh yeah,
really?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are...
it's going to be a fantastic match.
Yeah, those are two teams where I could see both going, so I honestly can't call that one.
I'm going to go with Lucha Brothers just because I think they have that undeniable, you don't know what I'm going to do.
No.
If you remember that scene in Fight Club when he's bleeding all over him, when they're having the fight in the basement, he's like, you don't know where I've been, Lou. You don't know where I've been. That's kind of Lucha Brothers. Like, you don't know what we're going to do because we don't even know.
You're quoting movies all day long here.
Yeah, it's a good day.
So, all right. So I'm going to just say the Marco Stunt thing.
Yeah. You don't like the guy.
I'm not going to say anything too negative, but I will say I don't like the floss dance. So anytime anyone does that, it's like, no.
I'm with you on that one. I have to agree.
About the whole size thing and obviously, him hanging in there, I'm fine with it in the beginning, but this thing went, I think, 11 minutes. This thing probably should not have gone that long. Lucha Brothers should have put this thing away in like 5 minutes.
I don't know. I think that was kind of part of the appeal. They
were beating him down.
Doing it, and like Jungle Boy's doing awesome stuff. I mean, he's really good too. Like, he impressed me as well. Watching the stuff, the standing shooting star press, all that kind of stuff is just awesome. Yeah,
it's a tightrope to walk. I mean, I don't think anyone actually thought Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt were going to win. But then it's like, how long do they hang in there?
I think they did it right. Personally, I was a big fan of this match because it gave you that whole, okay, next time we see Jurassic Express, you're going to get a good match regardless of who's in there.
Yeah, and then Luchasaurus is going to come in and kick all their heads off and make the save for them when they're getting beat down once.
At 65 million years old.
And he's going to make them all extinct. So up next, we had a tag match. It was Pac, as we're saying Pac, right?
Yeah, Pac or Pac or...
Pac versus, go Pac go? Like
Ooh,
Packers?
Oh, maybe he's a...
Mason Crosby fan? So anyways, we had Pac and Jon Moxley versus Hangman Page and Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
I will say we finally have heard from Moxley.
Yep.
It only took him 3 weeks to talk. You know, probably his best asset is his promos. It's about time to let him talk. You know, he is former Dean Ambrose, the big signing.
Right.
So it only took the third week to get him to talk. So what did you think of this tag match?
I thought it was very interesting. There was definitely an interesting character dynamic going on there because, you know, Moxley, as we know, he don't like anybody.
Does Pac like anyone?
Pac doesn't like anybody either, but he's willing to work with other people to get ahead, you know, and then step on them later. Moxley don't care. He's in there to beat people and hurt people and do things. And so, as we saw towards the end of the match, you tell him something he doesn't want to hear, he's going to drop you and walk home.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I mean, Pac's nickname, I won't say it on air, but I mean, if that's your nickname, you can't be that nice of it.
You can't. No, I suppose not.
So basically, everyone turned on everyone in this match. That's kind of what I got on this. And
Hangman Page didn't turn on Omega.
No, but you know that's coming too down the line.
Oh, is it?
Or is it?
Oh, what do you know?
I know nothing. So Page and Omega, they beat Pac.
Yes.
They stand tall. What did you think of Pac? Is this his first loss?
That is the first time being pinned. Are we calling it a loss?
I mean,
it's a lot. It goes as a loss in his tag team.
Oh yeah, tag team record
statistics.
Yeah, we're splitting those up now.
Yeah.
So Moxley turned on him, Pac, and I believe that's next week now.
Moxley and Pac.
I believe they announced that for next week.
Well, hey, it's a story. Hey, we're given reasons to tune in next week.
We're given reasons to tune in. I hope we have reasons to tune in.
Well, we don't, but they do.
Exactly. So our main event, Philly Street Fight.
Yeah, that was something else too.
We have an AEW championship match already. The world title defended. Third weekend, I think? Yep, third week.
Something like that.
So Chris Jericho versus Darby Allin. What did you think?
I thought it was a nice way to showcase Darby Allin. Give him a little spotlight to say, look at what this kid can do. We all knew he wasn't going to win, but it was up to him to suspend disbelief for, you know, as long as possible. So, I mean, I don't really think there was a moment where I thought he had the definitive upper hand, but he definitely showed some crazy stuff going on there.
Did you think that Darby Allin got a little too much, or did you think he...
No, I mean, I think it was a decent... if you're put in that spotlight...
What are you doing?
You're playing with your phone.
I'm looking at something.
We're trying to do business here and do a podcast, and you're playing with your phone.
We're doing business here. So you think he got enough, or did...
No, I think it was just right, to be honest, because they put him in that position, so he's in the main event. So you're going to go for a while.
Yeah.
And I think he used that, maximized his minutes, like JR likes to say. I think he made very well use of his time, and there wasn't a point where I was like, okay, this has gone on too long. No, I thought it was a great match.
All right. Is there anything about the fact that he needed... Well, first of all, he tied his hands behind his back.
Taped his hands.
Is there any reason that he needed help to still beat a guy that didn't even have arms with Jack Hager coming out?
I think that kind of showcases... Well... Yeah.
Still couldn't beat...
I think that kind of showcases the resiliency and how tough this Darby Allin kid really can be. You know, he tied his hands behind his back, and he still got the upper hand. So here comes Jake Hagar, and then that'll finally do it for you.
That'll finally do it for you. So what did you think on the whole?
On the whole?
Yeah.
I thought it was a great match. I thought it was a great match. Obviously, we knew Chris Jericho was going to win, and I think that they did that in good fashion. Keep the young kid kind of strong because he didn't lose by his own hand, and it wasn't, you know, just a straight up clean win-loss. There was some interference there. So it gives us a reason to keep tuning in to Darby Allin, but obviously Jericho had to take the championship to the pay-per-view. So.
And then they all celebrated with a little bit of the bubbly.
A little bit of the bubbly. Ooh.
I thought that was a nice capper on it.
I like that a lot, yeah.
So we have viewer numbers.
Oh, they're out. Whoa.
That's what I was looking at.
Is that right on time?
It just came
What's your
out.
schedule? Yeah, what's your schedule say, though? Like
My schedule?
Yeah, AEW, NXT, and then ratings. So it was like right on time.
Oh, that's what you meant.
That's like right on your run sheet, man.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
I have no idea.
So any predictions?
Everything down, but AEW edged out NXT again.
AEW won again. I mean, won, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So any like numbers? You just want to get to it.
AEW. I'm going to say just under 1 million.
Okay, and then NXT? They're at like, what, 800 last week or
750. Maybe between 7 and 750.
Man, you're good.
Yeah?
You're real good.
Ha!
This is live, folks.
Woo!
NXT, 712,000 viewers.
Wow.
You almost nailed that one. AEW,
Yeah.
1.014. Just over.
Yo!
Just over.
I should be a guy that does that for a living.
I should be a guy. A guy that does that. Well, there's the numbers. What do you think?
I mean, that's what we expected, right?
Yeah, I think that's about where we expected. I'm a little bit surprised they stayed over 1 million again. I don't remember what last week was. It 1.1 or 1.0?
1.014 or something like that, I think.
That was this week.
Oh, well. Then they didn't really lose too many. So maybe this is a signifying moment that, AEW has kind of found its crowd.
I think they've both obviously there's going to be some up and downs,
Right.
But I think this is about where they're going to be. I think we've talked about it now each week. I think it's going to be hovering around 1 million or a little under. And I said it before, but that's where the Miz's show is. That's where Stone Cold's show is. So I think that's kind of where the area is going to be going forward. So I'm looking at last week's right now. And, yeah, AEW had 1.018. So slightly down,
yeah,
by a minuscule
so
amount.
They've definitely found their niche.
And then NXT also percentage point down.
Yeah,
so a little bit down for both, again, third week in a row. So yeah, I think that's about where we think they're going to be. I don't think there's any big news to take from that yet. I think both shows have kind of settled into the groove.
Yeah,
and
I'm gonna kind of figure out how the wheel works.
And I don't know if it's going to be next week or a week after, but I'm sure NXT's thinking we got to load up another card.
Oh yeah. They're gonna try and pull out a big bust at some point.
Because I think they want to be up to the 1 million mark. I think that's where they want to be. So even if I know it's a minuscule, it's only a couple 100,000, but
there is a distinct difference when I was flipping back and forth this week of watching NXT in that smaller arena to AEW in a larger arena. There is just kind of a different. It's almost like watching old school WWF and then flipping over to ESPN to catch old episodes of GWF from where were they? Were they
old
Georgia?
School.
I think.
Georgia.
I think they.
Here's
Georgia.
Here's the
Global
question:
Wrestling.
Did you watch WWE Backstage, the preview edition? It's where they announced Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss to SmackDown.
No, I did not. I caught little blips of it on Twitter. I did not actually watch it.
I did not watch it either, and I think that got like 500,000 or something. But I don't know how that'll do going forward because it's on FS1, and it's at 9 or 10 o'clock or something.
It's just poor Renee Young. She just can't seem to get a stable job.
Did you see the comment that ripped her?
Yeah.
For the
and
Stone
then
Cold
she
thing?
Ripped back.
Yeah, I got the Fox money now, so it's like, screw you. So any closing thoughts on the ratings of the Wednesday night BS, of anything going on before I get to a little story?
No. No, I really like the dynamic that we've got here with NXT and AEW. It seems like they've got two really decent shows going head to head. And it just seems like AEW seems to be able to pull it out, maybe because they're new and fresh, and it's a bunch of people that we've never seen before. Whereas NXT is taking people from Impact, they're taking people from all the indies, they're and it's obviously like the big machine.
Yeah, I'm thinking in the next few weeks they may kind of flip ratings a little bit. I'm still waiting. They went down a little bit each again. I'm still waiting for maybe a little bit more of a drop, but I'm still thinking of the Smackdown, how you said under 2 million last week.
No, I said around 2 million. I said they're going to be under, but not like, I think that, their average is going to hover in the 2 million range.
All right, so we will replay that off the air after this, and you'll see that you said below. But anyways, so my little
kick
thing
you out of my house.
that I will kick you. So my little thing I teased last week. So you're talking about the California fires or something. Remember that?
Yeah, right.
And you're like, yeah. So
I had basically had been in the area that got burned up.
Yeah, you were talking about the wedding you went to.
Yeah.
Talked about how amazing it is.
Yep.
And how you enjoyed your time there.
I loved California.
For various reasons.
Yes.
So, I purposely did not say anything because in light of you, I wanted you to enjoy it. I wanted you to have your moment.
Oh, no.
I did not want to crowd your excitement, but I am also going to California.
Oh, really?
So I didn't want to take away from you. So I let you have your moment. I let you have the week after and the week after. And I'm like, I got to say something.
Why are we going to California?
Just Holly and I, we have a vacation time to use up.
Nice.
So we are going there. And
where in California?
Well, here's it's Carson. We're going to LAX.
Yep.
So when you said LAX earlier, I said, I mentioned a little something if you go back and listen. But
yeah.
That week, it's a weekend, so Friday through Monday.
Okay.
That Sunday, we have tickets to the Packers-Chargers game.
Oh, nice.
So it's kind of a little bucket list thing.
Diego.
It's a little, well, it's not in San Diego anymore, but it's a little thing about
oh, yeah, the LA Chargers now, aren't they?
See the Packers on the road. And it just kind of fit like, hey, we got to go somewhere. So
that's awesome.
Flying out Friday and coming back.
You're going to love it.
Flying back Monday morning. So all this time I've been asking you questions about the flight and how do you this and that. And
well, I'll tell you a little more about stuff in California off air. But
I'm sure you will.
It'll be fantastic.
All right. So do you have any closing thoughts on that?
No, but dude, I've been missing California, man. It's cold up here.
Well, I have luggage if you want to shove in the bag.
You think I could? No, I don't know. The only thing I didn't like about our trip to California was the flight. Not that it was bad or anything.
Oh boy, don't say that.
No, nothing was wrong with the flight. It was very uneventful. The flight attendants were great. The people on the plane were wonderful. The traveling itself is just kind of like
just dealing with it.
Yeah,
the
way home sucked. Just because I was going home, like vacation was over.
It's over. Time to go home.
That was the part that I didn't like. Going there, I was very excited, and being there was just amazing. I mean,
yes,
yeah,
we are very excited.
There are things that are normal in California, like mountains and palm trees.
What are
that
these?
Up until I went, was like I've only seen that in movies. Like we have one technical mountain in Wisconsin, and it's in Mountain, Wisconsin, and I've driven by that, and it's amazing.
Well, we're lazy with that one. It's
right?
in Mountain.
But I mean, it is amazing because like you're driving, and all of a sudden, boom! There's this big landmass.
Yeah.
And but you go to California, and it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Off in the distance, and this is stuff I'd only seen in movies, or TV shows. Palm trees. Never seen a live palm tree growing in the wild, or a cactus. I've seen them at the domes, but that's not wild,
Yeah.
So just like little things like that I'm sure people that live there or have been there for a while take for granted. I was just like flipping out about it. There's wild cactus growing on the road.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
To them, it's every day.
To them, it's every day.
I'm sure. I'm sure you stood out like.
I had to.
I'm sure they were like, "Oh, here's another one."
Well, my phone was out, and I was clicking pictures of just like the random landscape, just because we don't have that up here.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, our landscape only exists in 3% of the world because the glaciers only came down so far. So the landscape that we have here in Wisconsin is actually quite unique. You don't find the kind of hills and valleys and all the vegetation that goes along on top of those like you do here in Wisconsin, just because of the land formations and what happened when the Ice Age was doing its thing.
Doing its thing. Are you giving us a history lesson?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Geological. I'm just saying, like, while California is amazing to me because I never see it, people that come here from other places think that we have amazing landscape because they never see what we see every day. We drive through the Kettle Moraine every day, a place where the glaciers carved out little nooks and crannies and hills and all that stuff, and it's crazy. It's beautiful up there, but it's normal to us.
Yeah, speaking of podcasts, apparently Corey Graves is getting his own on the WWE podcasting thing, October 30th, after the bell. So I wonder how that's going to be. Apparently it's going to be an edgy type.
Of course it is, because he's
Graves.
the savior of misbehavior.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to go on there and just rip on everyone. But, him and Carmella also are staying on the same roster.
Right,
for Smackdown. But
that's kind of why they split up R-Truth and Carmella.
Oh, was Carmella and R-Truth getting a little too close?
No. They just wanted to keep the couples together.
All right. I know. I'm just messing with you. So, all right, we're going to finish with some plugs here. You are listening to the 411 Foresight Wrestling Podcast on the one and only 411 Podcasting Network, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, and, of course, 411mania.com, the website. You know about it, 411mania.com. Steve, what do you got?
Hey, sorry, you caught me stretching. We have the Resonant Complex. We have a debut album, North Avenue, that is available everywhere music is sold. You can find it on iTunes. You can find videos on YouTube. You can find it streaming on Spotify. You can even find yourself a physical copy at cdbaby.com. Go ahead and search the Resonant Complex and smash that like button.
Smash that like button right now. Hit it.
What if I find